travel ban could shake up international sporting events, including some in the Bay Area. Next year, the South Bay hosts the World Cup.
A new competition, the FIFA Club World Cup in 25, from the 14th of June to the 13th of July, only in the United States of America.
And they're largely sold out, so I don't know. I don't think he's too worried about the travel ban. He doesn't know what the travel ban is, I don't think. Johnny, tell me what the travel ban is. He doesn't know what it is.
The United States of America has not experienced a repeat of the coronavirus pandemic, nor has the disappearance of all of the country's soccer fields occurred across the country. It has been suggested that the matches of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which are now scheduled to take place in the United States, might be relocated to Canada, which is located in close proximity to the United States. The United States of America is being excluded from all of the matches that are being played in Canada. It should come as no surprise that FIFA did not strike this decision out of the blue. There are a number of very serious reasons for not coming to the United States, including the tightening of trade barriers, the increase in visa issues, and political restrictions that make it difficult for fans to access the games. However, the most significant reason is the unyielding policies of President Trump, regardless of whether it is a superstar footballer worth 200 million euros or one of the most successful coaches in the world, Pep Guardiola. Trump may not appear to care about any of this, but what if it were to become impossible for tourists to visit the United States? If this is the case, then how is it possible for the United States to host the FIFA World Cup, which is one of the most important sporting events in the world? Because FIFA is a massive organization, no one can interfere with it in any way they see fit. Anyone who attempts to do so will be met with a response from FIFA in accordance with its own rules. In the event that the host country is unable to meet the necessary conditions, FIFA has the ability to change the location of all matches. Trump's authoritarian attitude does not apply to FIFA, requiring only 90 days notice. To put it another way, the stage may suddenly shift to Canada, and the billions of dollars that were expected to flow to the United States could instead flow to Canada. It is already beginning to become apparent that this prospect is a possibility. Emirates, which is one of the most prominent sponsors in the world, has decided to stop providing advertising support for stadiums in the United States, which amounts to multiple millions of dollars, and instead allocated its budget to arenas in Canada. It is possible that this action is the most definitive response to the topic of which nation in North America is the most trustworthy friends. If you want to beat the algorithm that YouTube uses, kindly subscribe to the channel and like the video. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, is quite pleased with the decision to move the location of the event. In the United States, the situation is different. According to those with knowledge of the situation, President Trump is irate. Doesn't that seem typical? Are you anticipating that he will have billions of dollars in his possession in a period of less than 2 years to come to terms with the fact that he has suddenly lost these enormous profits for good? Must be extremely frustrating. Because of its stable political environment, great organizational capabilities, and smooth infrastructure, Canada has already emerged as the clear favorite. However, it is imperative that we all understand that Canada did not secure its hosting role by any kind of battle. The World Cup is not only a sporting event, it is also a gigantic stage for economic gain, global power show, and national image. If this scenario comes to fruition, the issue will not simply be a change of stadium. Rather, it will be a massive shakeup for the United States, marking a loss of prestige. This is because the World Cup is not just a sporting event. There were millions of fans from all around the world who were anxiously awaiting the opportunity to take their seats in American stadiums for the 2026 World Cup. Despite the fact that every seat would be occupied and every cheer would reverberate, the stadiums are being overshadowed by the new immigration restrictions that have been put on the United States. However, there are some arenas that run the risk of leaving thousands of seats empty, seats that were intended to be filled. The heart of planned celebrations is being drained away by the presence of visitor islands. Even more concerning is the fact that tens of thousands of fans from the 12 countries that are subject to Donald Trump's immigration restrictions are now prohibited from visiting the United States. This includes teams who have already clinched their spots in the tournament. The entire tournament experience is being negatively impacted as a result of this, not just the purchase of tickets. Event organizers are being compelled to minimize the number of events, restrict volunteer programs, and lessen the number of cultural celebrations. It's possible that the spectacular festivities that were planned may be replaced by stadiums that are just half full and stands that are silent. In addition, there has been a substantial impact in the logistics section. The tournament is experiencing a clear strain at its core as a result of the lengthy inspections, delays, and additional fees that are now being imposed on equipment that was previously able to pass through without any problems. Organizers are in a precarious situation as a result of the financial challenges they are facing. There are several features that are being reduced in size. In the case of intelligence teams, low-budget jobs are being handed to them, or anticipated enhancements are being completely delayed. However, FIFA has not yet made a final decision regarding the location of the 2026 World Cup. Although Canada is more likely to host the tournament than the United States, there has been no formal confirmation of this. On the United States side, hospitality areas, media zones, and fan experience centers, which were designed to project a world-class host image, are being redesigned with cheaper and less durable materials due to budget constraints. As a result, there is still a perception that the event will be held in the United States. International observers note that the United States is unable to project a confident and seamless host image. The United States of America is making an effort to preserve the event by reducing the severity of Trump's hostile posture. This is because the event is of critical significance for all aspects of the country, and it will include the most talented football players in the world competing on the field. Hotels in the vicinity of the stadium will be nearly full. The airports that serve domestic flights will be bustling with passengers, and the restaurants will be packed with people of all ages, from young adults to families with children. To summarize, a large number of companies located all over the United States will generate billions of dollars in revenue and make a substantial contribution to the Treasury budget. If such a rare chance were to be squandered due to faulty travel and trade policies, then the United States of America would be conducting itself in a manner that would be detrimental to its own interests. The World Cup is already seeing disruptions to the physical flow of products, which is what makes the event feasible. Simply paying a higher price is not sufficient. Critical steel beams, temporary stands, and upper deck elements are being held up for weeks in Canadian containers due to customs and inspection processes. This means that the inability to obtain materials on time has also become a major issue as a result of President Trump's decision to impose tariffs of 50% on aluminum and steel on Canada last week. A sort of revenge against Canada is being carried out here. Continual changes are being made to the completion dates. All of the projects are halted because of rescheduled chores, and construction personnel are unable to continue forward with their daily work. A number of things, including imported seats, high-definition scoreboards, and LED advertising panels, are also many months behind time. The skeletons of the stadiums are also behind schedule. As a result of these delays, installation schedules are being made more difficult, and managers are being forced to engage in increasingly risky logistical balancing acts in order to adjust. To compensate for the uncertainty, contractors are extending additional weeks or even months to their contracts, which results in an increase in the amount of money allocated for emergency expenses. However, each and every adaptation comes with a price tag, not just in terms of monetary value, but also in terms of the trust that is established between FIFA, local authorities, and sponsors. When it comes to such an important event, there are problems that do more than just cause discomfort. During this time, millions of prospective fans are being prevented from attending the stadiums due to the presence of invisible risks such as visa and immigration hurdles. These threats function as a flashing red warning light. In some countries, the processing period for a visa can take up to a year, and the average processing time for a visa now exceeds 300 days.
There are fans who are unable to attend matches because they are unable to secure visas, and there are even players who are unable to be included in the rosters of their respective teams. Tickets are being purchased, and flying arrangements are being entirely disrupted as a result of this uncertainty. This loss is not only affecting the stands, but it is also creating a decline in revenue for host cities, and it is turning the mood of the matches into a quiet, lifeless event. In certain nations, open travel bans and locked doors are having the effect of excluding whole fan bases from the competition. Before we go any further, I would be really grateful if you could subscribe to my channel and give the video a like for the millions of people around the world that are passionate about football. Due to the fact that the United States is 20 hours away by plane, the rapid switches in sponsorship are a severe warning. There is a possibility that the United States of America will not be the host nation for the 2026 World Cup, which would result in the tournament being staged in a different nation. Even though traveling to the United States is already a challenging endeavor, shifting the event to Canada would cause millions of fans to have their plans entirely derailed or altogether canceled. On account of this, a great number of parties are still not making preparations for the unpredictability and would rather wait a little bit more. There is no relation between FIFA and the decision-making process that takes place in Washington. Rather than that, it is speeding up its own preparations in anticipation of probable inadequacies in the United States. In the event that FIFA discovers any problems in the United States, it may decide to move the tournament to Canada, where all of the venues are prepared. This not only causes a sense of panic in the United States, but it also produces many disputes inside the White House, even if Trump wants to reverse his decision to impose a travel ban on 12 nations. Because FIFA crisis management staff have already taken action, it is now too late to do anything about the situation. They are going through the process of simulating different scenarios in order to move the group stage matches to either Canada or Mexico. Every conceivable possibility is being taken into consideration, from the routes of charter flights to the placement of media broadcast teams, from the reservations of hotels to the coordination of volunteer efforts. Every aspect has been pre-organized. It is almost as if a replacement version of the event has already been established. With the approaching of the crucial date, the significance of this preparation becomes more and more apparent. It has been suggested by those close to the situation that the decision could be decided 1 year before the matches, without the fans or the authorities in the area being aware of it. In the event that there is a divergence in the judgment and Canada ends up hosting the event, it will not just be the matches that are shifted. This implies that the precise location of the World Cup in 2026 might be declared. The tournament map will be redesigned, and FIFA will demonstrate that it places a higher priority on functionality and the experience of fans than it does on political instability, regardless of the political power of the country that is hosting the event. Beyond the uncertainty that exists south of the border, this issue is more significant for Canada. An opportunity presents itself as a result of this. In light of the fact that the United States is experiencing a systemic impasse as a result of tariffs and visa restrictions, Canada is prepared to offer FIFA the stability and smooth hospitality that it is looking for. As an illustration of what I am referring to, the British Columbia Place in Vancouver, which has a capacity of 54,000 people, has successfully held international events such as the Winter Olympics and the Women's World Cup. When it comes to meeting FIFA criteria, the stadium in Toronto, which has a capacity of 45,000, is currently undergoing a process of modernization, and every element is being thoroughly examined. On the other hand, entering Canada is a lot less difficult than entering the United States. However, unlike President Trump, Prime Minister Mark Carney did not put a travel ban on 12 different countries. The result of this is that FIFA has given Canada a perfect score for the simplicity with which it performs its admission procedures. In many countries, visas can be obtained in a matter of weeks, while certain countries do not require visas for visits that are for a short period of time. Because of this, fans and sponsors are able to confidently arrange their trip plans without having to worry about last-minute cancellations once guests arrive. Additionally, integrated transportation networks and large hotel capacity ensure that travel and accommodations inside the inner city are carried out without any problems. The global perception of a team is equally as important as the success of the team on the field. Public transportation systems connect stadiums to city centers, and hotels, restaurants, and entertainment venues are prepared to accommodate the massive influx of visitors. In order to promote itself as a candidate for the main event, Canada is not just positioning itself as a backup plan, but also as a candidate that is confident and reliable. Because of this, the level of tension in Washington is extremely high. When it comes to the 2026 World Cup, Trump is concerned that Mark Carney, whom he considers to be a small rival, could earn global prominence by hosting the tournament. This loss of prestige could have a much more significant impact than the financial loss that would result from it. In addition to being an economic opportunity for the countries that are hosting the World Cup, it is also a national showcase on the international arena. If the cities that are hosting the World Cup in the United States are unable to successfully handle this event, which is watched by millions of people, their reputation in the world of international sports and tourism would be severely damaged. There is a lack of visitors and fans, which leads to empty stadiums, which not only ruins the ambiance but also diminishes the value of television broadcasts and advertising deals. Global media and sponsors are beginning to investigate other locations as a means of replacing hosts who are facing credibility concerns. I am extremely grateful that you have watched my video with me up to this point. In the comments section, please don't forget to offer your opinions on the location that you believe should host the World Cup. Have a good time in the following video. Don't stop watching The Finding, examine yourself.